as a lot of people might think. We are loaded in right now. We are just waiting for the game to get started. But what do you think of the summoner spells? No flash on the Hecarim. That's pretty standard. But we do see a ignite exhaust bot lane. No heal from the side of AJN.
And this to me is really surprising. I mean, heal is just so valuable in the bottom lane. We've seen a lot of this actually throughout the tournament with teams not taking heal, and I don't like it one bit. I think there is room for a little bit of a summoner spell innovation, I'll say, in the bottom lane. You can do stuff like bring the teleport instead of heal, or exhaust ignite is kind of the timeless question. But in this particular case, I just don't see the value in exhaust. Where is the burst coming out of JYC's bottom lane, right? It's Caitlyn Thresh. It's not like that's a one-shot combo in the same way that a Kai'Sa Nautilus is. So I really don't like the exhaust here, at least not on the Swain. But at least on the other side, there is no ignite out of the JYC bot lane, instead opting for heal exhaust.
We do see JYC, big flash hook from Castle. Unfortunately, not going to land it. Going to be a problem for that 5-man invade. Flash down on Castle might be tricky in the early game, but we'll see if they can recover from that little slip up. Interesting way to start the match, I'll say that.
Yeah, I like the idea too, going for that cheeky little invade there. You have the hook champions, you have a strong level 1, but Dasta is a little bit too slick on the Swain, and now that's a lot of the pressure gone from that bottom lane of JYC. I mean, normally Senna is a very vulnerable laner. You want to just kind of abuse her in the matchup, and that's why picks like Tom Kench are so often paired with her, because of that weak laning phase. But now, with Thresh not having flash, there's not going to be that same sort of aggression that can come out of the bottom lane of JYC. So I'm hoping that Hecarim is playing a bit around this bottom side to keep his laners safe and let this Caitlyn reach the mid game unscathed.
Yeah, it would be nice, very, very nice for the side of excuse me, for the blue side, if they manage to get their Caitlyn ahead and keep her safe, especially against such an aggressive lane like Caitlyn Swain that's going to need to get ahead in the early game to really stay in this match. We'll see what they can do.
Yeah, and right now we're seeing a very standard jungle clear right off the start, right? So Hecarim, he's starting at his red buff, Darius at his blue. This is normal. As the
Big
bottom
hook
lane
from Castle. Nice exhaust. Gonna have to burn the flash on the Swain, and they do just barely manage to get out, but that's a lot of damage down onto that Swain. And it looks like he may have to back off unless Senna can keep him healed up with those Qs. Very, very nice. Evens out that support flash difference. Castle's flash being burnt, no longer such a disadvantage, as Dasta is forced to burn his as well.
Yeah, forget everything I was saying about there not going to be any aggression or fighting at the bottom lane of JYC here, throwing caution to the wind, just going all in off that level 2. And I like it, not just forfeiting the lane immediately because you don't have flash. Junglers are finishing up their initial clear here. You can see both on the top side of the map. I wonder if we see a little kerfuffle over this top scuttle crab, although it looks like Darius has beat Hecarim here by a mile, which is surprising because Hecarim is known for very fast jungle clear.
It does, but if we look at the camps, Hecarim did stop to do his Krugs, and Darius hasn't, which I believe is the difference maker. Darius still has his Krugs up. Big engage. Will Castle go down here? No. Oh, he does go down, but they managed to pick up the Senna in exchange, which is quite big for the side of JYC. They managed to get that first kill onto the AD carry, which is huge. You definitely love to see it. And the Senna picking up the kill for the side of AJN. Not super ideal. It looks like they are going to be going for that fasting Senna support, trying to get those kills on the Swain, and they just haven't been able to do it yet.
Yeah, and kind of an awkward flash there out of the center, right? Going to the side instead of straight back behind the tower. I'm not really sure what was going on there. Maybe there was an ability I missed, but I don't like the angle thrown around there. Meanwhile, Darius is up here in the top side, and Kennen might just walk into it.
They get engaged on the Kennen. He will. Full combo goes down. Cho'Gath lands the Q. They're chasing him down pretty hard, and I think he's just gonna go down. Big kill on the Darius jungle. Puts him ahead of the Hecarim. And engage in the mid lane as well. Kitten just gonna dip right out with that Yone E. Gonna be so hard to pin him down with that ability up. And that's gonna be not too much happening in the mid lane, but a big kill for the Darius in the jungle.
Yeah, and that's so nice to get on the Darius early. I feel like this pick is one that wants to snowball, but here Hecarim is mid.
Kitten just having to burn his flash. That is going to be quite helpful in pinning him down. A very solid gank from LolPro there on the Hecarim. But we do see him going back in. Yone just trying to get some damage down, popping his E and flying in there. Not going to be able to do too much off of it, though. And we'll move back down to the bot lane.
Yeah, ends up being a pretty mellow trade, you know, just everyone getting some HP out. The flash had to come out of Yone thanks to the Hecarim gank, but ultimately he's still alive and thriving here. He will have to play significantly safer now, though, which means he can't take those aggressive trades as Yone in the same way as before. It's a big bummer because Yone is so strong into melee matchups like this Galio. So now forced to play safe, forced to just farm it out, but really not a bad place to be in considering it is such a hyper scaling pick out of him. The Darius is really what needs to pop off in the early game to enable AJN to stay in the match for Yone to get farmed up.
We do. And interestingly, we're seeing the Darius first back picking up the Mercury's Treads instead of any kind of damage item. He's gone for that tenacity and that magic resist, which I suppose is going to be quite big into a comp with as much magic damage and CC as JYC are bringing to the table. But normally, that's very interesting. Normally, you'd see junglers prioritizing damage. And we do see the Yone ult coming down as the Hecarim tries to dive him under tower. He is going to get the kill and get away scot-free, as there's not much that JYC is going to be able to do there. Unfortunate. And Slurp has no mana. How will he get away? It doesn't look like he will. He's going to flash out. He's going to hit the E, but it's not going to be quite enough. Darius is going to run him down. No, he is going to back off. The mobility from those boots might have let him run down the Galio, but he decided to back away. It looks like they may be looking to place some wards on Dragon, maybe even take Dragon here. Although, will we see a roam up from the bot lane of JYC? Doesn't look like it. Darius taking down that Dragon in the background very slowly but surely.
Yeah, and kind of interesting that Darius didn't want to just try to run down the Galio there. I mean, the jungler has just died. The Hecarim has just died, right? It's not like there's someone else on the map to roam up. Maybe bottom lane wasn't showing and I missed it, and that could be the case, but now he's quite delayed in starting this Dragon. You can see Hecarim is here on the bottom side of the map, and with his lane pushing in, they might be able to just turn this right here and sneak the Dragon out from under the nose of AJN.
We do see the bot lane of AJN roaming up as well, and the Yone is in slightly better position to move up, but they are going to take that Dragon with no problem. And Darius is going to have to flash out before he gets picked up, but ooh, big roots, big CC onto Blob Paints on the Caitlyn. Will he make it out? No, he goes down to the Senna Ignite. The Galio picking up the Darius in the mid lane. And that was an interesting little 1-for-1. I'm not sure that we predicted either of those champions would go down that way, but there they are.
Yeah, it seems like maybe some nerves coming out on this match here. Both teams kind of making awkward plays all around. Caitlyn not respecting the route over the wall. Swain is not a support here. It's a carry, and even if it was a support, he's doing a lot of damage. The flash comes out there to avoid Thresh Hook. Not a big problem. You see the question mark pings go down, probably because the hook wasn't quite on target, so he maybe didn't need to flash, but all's well that ends well. It's flash, it's a man alive, doesn't really matter. But JYC sneaks away the Dragon from AJN, and that's very valuable for them, right? I mean, you lose the play early on, Hecarim dies under the tower, but he's able to get back on the map and recover the objective out of it. You're just laughing at that point because everything went wrong, but it still turns out okay for you.
We do see Kitten Abuser and Slurp going at each other in the mid lane here. It's not looking like too much is going to be able to happen, but I think you're absolutely right. I would call that Dragon fight a net win for JYC. Even if they did lose a player in the process, they did get the Dragon, and they did get a kill onto that Galio in the mid lane, which is great for them. Having him a bit ahead is going to be very, very nice into such an oppressive lane. And unfortunately for AJN, both the kills in the bot lane have gone onto the Senna, which is not ideal. I mean, she can do boatloads of damage, don't get me wrong, but it looks like they want to have Swain be the main carry, and him being down a lot of CS and not having those kills is unfortunate.
Yeah, it really is. You would have loved to see the kills go on to Swain because it's a champion too where if you get ahead, you are just an unkillable drain tank. It's so hard to shut him down, especially when you don't have a lot of burst or really a hyper carry on the side of JYC. Killing drain tanks like that can be such a problem, but getting kills on Senna, it's nice, right? You get the heals coming out, which is basically the same thing as being a drain tank at the end of the day. So they're laughing straight to the bank with that one. Happy to just get some kills on the map and show that
big ultimate coming down from the Yone. Slurp is going to go down to that Ignite, and oh, LoLPro legit player is going to go down to the Darius as well in the jungle. That was a very quick little exchange from the side of AJN, but they do manage to pick up 2 kills on 2 of their biggest carries. Right as we were talking about how the gold was off the carries, there we go. They're bringing it right back. That's the kind of aggression that they need to be showing, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. And Darius making a really smart play there. He sees that his mid lane Yone is in a power position, really taking over the lane. And he knows that LoL Pro Legit player is going to come and try to back up his mid laner. You know, he wants to make sure that Galio can push out the wave and reset without being punished too much, lose out on a bunch of CS and experience. But as a result, Darius is hovering, looking for the Hecarim, knowing that he can win this 1v1 no problem. And as a result, it's 2-3s for the side of AJN. They're stacking up the money. They get 2 kills. They get the Rift Herald on the Darius. And now, where will this Rift Herald pop? I suspect it's going to go down in the mid lane.
Yeah, we may see it go down mid or top. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. I think we're just going to do a quick time check here. I am at 10:45, 6, 7, 8. What are you at, Gutty?
I'm just at the same 10:50 now, 51. So looking about the same there, but we'll see how it looks from the caster or from the production side of things. And it looks like we're 1 second ahead on the
big hook onto the Swain. Damage coming down from Blob Paints, but they are going to get out. The Senna ult going down. The Caitlyn ult blocked by Joshua on the Senna. Very nice, saving her Swain's life there by blocking that ultimate. Will we see LoL Pro Legit player going for the dive here? I'm sorry, I know we need to delay, but here, let me just pause for 1.5 seconds here. I believe I'm a bit ahead. If you want to continue the play-by-play for a minute.
Yeah, and it looks like here the Yone going in onto the Galio, but really the trades are not going to need very much at the end of the day. Galio is in a very safe position. He's got the aftershock proc. So when you're in that situation as Yone, you are doing a whole heck of a lot of no damage because he just has such high armor and magic resist. But really loving what I'm seeing out of Kitten here. He is popping off in a big way.
And the big Thresh Lantern over the wall. And the Hecarim goes in on the Senna, separating that team fight. Looks like they're going to be able to pick up the Swain here. Blob Paints does get the Swain. The Hecarim ult going onto the Senna, pushing her back towards the tower. Blob Paints roaming up. Will he be able to get in range, or will LoLPro just snag the kill? Yes, he does. Very, very nice coordinated play from the side of JYC there.
Very nice. Getting a couple more kills on this bottom side of the map. Hecarim is back in the game now thanks to that shutdown, so he doesn't have to worry quite as much about Darius, although Darius is still much stronger in the 1 versus 1, but the Hecarim now is at least strong enough that he can dive into a team without being blown up right away. He needs some tank stats to be a threat to the backline of AJN, so nice to get that kill. One goes over to the Caitlyn as well. Always nice to have one of your carries get a free kill. Nice little bit of gold into their pockets so they can get those items just that little bit faster, and it is manifested immediately with the Gale Force coming out from Caitlyn. Is this the mythic you like to see on Caitlyn, or do you have something else in mind?
Ooh, sorry. Yone gonna have to ultimate out there, and looks like he's gonna get away for free. Will he be able to turn this fight potentially? No, I think he's just gonna have to leave, but... Oh, going for the big flash Q, but it just misses the Hecarim. Wing backwards, I'm not sure why. Gale Force is a very interesting mythic item on Caitlyn. It allows for a lot of really flashy plays. Be able to see some of that coming out from Blob Paints on the Caitlyn there. And the Rift Herald does go down in the top lane. Darius roaming up to maybe try to dive this cannon or simply wait for the tower to go down and get a free kill. Will no one be able to back off, or will he get dove here? Looks like they're going in. Darius roaming up for the dive. Yeah, nothing much to say there. There's not a lot that Kennen can do in a situation like that. Darius hitting the big hook, Cho'Gath landing all the CC, and unfortunately Kennen is not going to be able to do much to live there.
Yeah, not at all. And the Kennen, right, you would think he'd be able to turn that no problem with his ultimate, just kind of look for the 2v1 with his crowd control and damage, but because of this...
Look at the damage coming out from Blob Paints. Will he be able to pick up the double kill here? It looks like he might be able to. Yes, the Caitlyn ult manages to pick it up before the Senna ult goes off, potentially saving Castle's life, and that's some crazy damage onto the Swain. I was not expecting Caitlyn to be doing that much damage already. Wow.
Yeah, well, we're seeing why the Gale Force is coming out of the Caitlyn, right? It lets you do those crazy sort of trap reset net plays thanks to the dash available on Gale Force. So really, that was a crazy little one-shot showing some clean Caitlyn mechanics there. I think this is why we're starting to see the champion pop up a little bit more because of plays like this. Gale Force just enables her so much.
Yone going into the Galio. not going to be able to do much, just going to back off. But yes, absolutely. Sorry to cut you off there. Continue.
No problem. We got action on the screen, so it's warranted.
Oh, Hecarim diving in with the ultimate. Yone burning his ultimate as well. Lolpro just being able to get out of there. We're seeing the teleport come in from that Cho'Gath, and Slurped is just going to narrowly dodge that Cho'Gath Q. Amazed that nobody managed to get picked off there on either side. That was some slippery plays from everybody involved.
Yeah, really, the Yone ult comes and locks up the Hecarim under tower, so he has to immediately ultimate to get out of there right away. Now we're seeing the bottom lane of JYC roam up to the mid part of the map, maybe trying to use this Caitlyn long auto attack range to slowly but surely siege down the tower.
For sure. And something we didn't note is that even though that Rift Herald was dropped in the top lane, we do see first tower going down for the side of JYC in the bot lane. And that's just that sieging power that Caitlyn brings that you were just talking about. Excuse me. Kennen managing to hold on to that top tower so far. And that's a lot of gold to have on the Caitlyn, to have that tower gold, those 4 kills, and the most CS in the game at the moment. Although tied now with the Cho'Gath in the top lane. Very, very solid for the side of JYC. She is going to be their main damage carry, or really their only damage carry at this point. So they're definitely going to want to be funneling as much gold into her as they can.
Yeah, going to be super reliant on this Caitlyn popping off since, as you mentioned, the only other real damage threat, I would say, on the Kennen is far, far behind here, has died twice and is down in CS. And they're looking to help him out here in the top lane.
Nice little 3-man roam. Castle with the flash play. Lands the ultimate, lands the hook. They managed to pick up the Cho'Gath, but he is so thick. He is not going to go down easily. And Lolpro diving in on him. They're taking him down under tower, and he will go down to Lolpro. Darius, unfortunately, not able to do too much there. We did see him roam up, and we did see the Senna ult to try to keep that Cho'Gath alive, but it was not enough. 4 players from JYC is too much for him to handle.
Yeah, Thresh landing everything there, flashing in initially for the play into box. Just super well played, locks up the Cho'Gath for so long. Even with the Merc Treads, it's not enough to escape the never-ending crowd control coming into JYC. And Darius is just too short range, is not fast enough. He doesn't get to build a chem tank like Hecarim does. And so as a result, not able to match on the play. Lolpro legit player now transitioning into the Herald because they have this advantage in the top side of the map. But Kitten might be able to pick up a bottom wave turret, although I suspect Galio can wave clear.
Goes in on him under tower, but he is just going to slide out, man. Yone is very weird to commentate for because so much of the time looks like he's going for a hard engage, and then he just dips halfway across the map with his E. Very tricky to follow sometimes, but we do our best.
Yeah, and I mean, this is why he's such a nightmare in the solo queue games, right? People don't really respect the range that he can gather on that E, right? You can just be flying screens and screens away thanks to that thing. The move speed you get from it, it's basically a Zed ultimate on a normal ability. Power creep doesn't exist in League of Legends, we promise, but Yone is maybe here to prove that wrong. Meanwhile, Joshua and Dasta here are going up to the mid lane, maybe looking to chip onto this tower. The dragon will be coming up fairly soon here, and both teams are going to want to posture around it. Neither wants this dragon soul to get stacked up by the opposition.
No, they do not. And the top lane tower going down to the Cho'Gath there. Unfortunately, Kennen not able to do much to support it. Castle roaming up just to try to hold the mid lane tower, but it looks like we may see Kitten. No, he's going to back off. He knows that they're coming for him, and he's going to run and try to set up for that dragon, maybe. Very smart of him not to stay for too long, to commit for that tower. He is a lot of damage right now. He is going to be one of the main carries on the side of AJN, so keeping him safe and protected is going to be the name of the game. But will we see him go for an engage here on Castle and Blob? Yes, he is looking for it, and he just dips right out again, as we were talking about. Very, very hard to follow.
Yeah, just being a nuisance, right? Seeing if there's any sort of angle available to him. And really, that's the difference between a very good Yone and just a mechanically strong Yone. This champion is a late game carry, right? You want to get farmed up so you get that crit every auto attack spike. You just start popping off in the late game, be an unkillable monster with the sustain from Conqueror and Lifesteal. But to get there, you have to play smart on the map. You can't just be dying for free in the side lane, and that is what he is doing, right? He's going to the side lane, he's getting farmed up, he's funneling himself gold, but he is not overextending and letting himself get caught and letting JYC get an edge in the game.
Very, very smart play. And we do see the Hecarim drop that Rift Herald in the mid lane, taking down that mid tower, taking away some of that priority from the side of AJN. And we can see both teams here getting ready for this dragon. It looks like we may see a fight erupt. Slurped is going to have to be the engage or the Lol Pro. Oh, big Kennen ulti. Never mind. Kennen stuns down most of the whole team, just shredding the side of AJN. Everybody diving in. Caitlyn doing a lot of damage from the backline. Galio ulti coming in. Caitlyn picks up 2 kills. Lolpro is stuck in the backline. The ultimate, unfortunately, not landing on the Darius. The Darius trying to stride breaker away, trying to flash, but Hecarim is going to run him down. And the Cho'Gath is stuck between 3 players with not too much to do. And wow, what a Kennen ulti to engage that fight. Just as I was counting him out of the game, he showed me why I shouldn't be doing that, as he manages to stun down every single member of AJN and get some huge damage down onto that fight. And maybe we shouldn't have been so quick to say that he wouldn't be doing so much damage this game.
He didn't even have a stopwatch there. That's what I'm most blown away by. How is this guy living on that 5-man engage when no one else is around him? Sure, the Hecarim ult comes over the top to help out, but I mean, really, I would have thought that with the Cho'Gath ultimate, the Darius ultimate, you can just one-shot that Kennen, but no one here, just absolutely popping off, gets the 5-man Kennen ult, and there you see, again, the team fighting prowess of JYC. They have the comp for it, right? With the Galio, with the Kennen, with the Hecarim, these are some crazy team fighting ultimates. They can just stack up layers and layers of AoE damage and CC, and it just pays out for them perfectly as they get the clean 5-0 on the dragon. Sure, the side of AJN picks up the dragon. They get the objective for themselves, but if you're getting 5 kills in return, you are more than happy with that trade.
Absolutely, especially if you add a Baron on top of that. They've got Baron buff on 5 members of their team, and that's going to be pretty massive for the side of JYC. Yeah, I think it was just honestly the panic that kept AJN from counter-engaging on that Kennen there. Nobody really was expecting it. He came in so quick, he even caught me off guard. Just flying over that wall with the flash and getting into the whole team. The Yone going in on the Kennen here while he's alone, but he is not as alone as Yone thinks. And the Hecarim is right there, ready on the E to dive in on the Yone as soon as he goes back. Unfortunately, Yone does flash and Q the Kennen to pick up the kill. And now Hecarim is in a bit of trouble, but the Galio teleport in as well, getting the 2-man taunt, picking up the Yone. And the Cho'Gath ult almost picking up the Hecarim, but not quite enough damage. And we now see 3 members of JYC collapsing on that Cho'Gath. Some beautiful teleport plays there from Slurped and the other members of JYC moving in on that fight. Wow.
Yeah, they wanted to help out their boy. You know, we've got this Baron buff and we want to keep it for as long as possible. So JYC collapses in total. Kitten there had a bit of a misplay. You know, he goes back into the taunt of the Galio. Maybe if he avoided that, you see something different as they're able to take down the Hecarim scot-free. And from there, it could be anyone's game. But that's not the result. Kitten had a great opener there. He did miss the ultimate as well on that Yone, which could have been a game changer. That thing is so strong. In the end, though, it's JYC faster on the reposition on the map. And as much as getting those kills is nice for the side of JYC, they're not really using their Baron afterwards to the fullest effect. Sure, they get the top outer tower, but really, for a Baron buff, that is not what you want to see. You want to be getting at least 2 towers. You want to be pressuring every single lane, and JYC is just not able to do that.
Yeah, roaming up to help keep that Kennen alive really took away a lot of their pressure in the other lanes, as the rest of AJN, who wasn't in that fight, was able to push them back in, giving JYC a much harder time using that Baron aggressively. But we do see them starting to push back now. We can see 5 members of AJN stacked up close to the mid lane, waiting for them to push, but it looks like they're going to do 2 in the mid lane, 1 in the top lane, and the other member is roaming around, figuring out what they can do. We do see another dragon coming up in a minute. I'm wondering if we'll see another fight here. Ocean Drake could be quite big for either of these teams. They got a lot of tanky boys who would really appreciate some extra healing in those fights.
Yeah, and if you're AJN with this next dragon coming up, you have got to be a little bit panicked, right? You thought you had the good map movement last time. You beat JYC to the dragon. You're set up. You're ready. You're right there. You get the dragon, and then everything goes terribly wrong thanks to the Kennen ultimate. This time, will they have that same confidence to posture aggressively? It looks so.
Oh, Lolpro gets Stridebreaker hooked, and the Darius. Oh, beautiful counter engage from Castle with the hooks. The picking up the Darius in return. Darius really thought he was doing something there. He went for a very nice stride breaker hook onto the Hecarim. If it was just the two of them, I think he would have had that, but the Thresh and the Caitlyn were there to back him up and pick up that Darius in return. Excellent counter engage from Castle.
Yeah, maybe thinking he was safe thanks to having pink wards around the dragon, but instead it's the side of JYC sneaking into the river where there is no vision, means that he's caught off guard by the extra members, and as a result, the dragon is completely free for JYC. This is their third dragon now, just one more for that Ocean Soul, a super powerful combat soul for a 5 versus 5 team comp like they have. So it means now the AJN cannot afford to give another dragon. Anytime this objective is up on the map, they're going to have to respond to JYC, giving them so much of an opportunity to just play AJN like a fiddle.
Yes, they are. And we're seeing that gold differential in the bot lane from the early game has only grown as the Caitlyn now sitting on 223 CS, tied with only the Yone for the most in the game, and 8 kills compared to 0 and 3 Swain on the other team. And that's starting to really add up as we can see her on 2.5 items and full boots, where the Hecarim has only got 1.5. So she is now a full item up. I think the only thing that JYC really needs to worry about right now is those 2 big shutdowns on Caitlyn and Hecarim. They will be worth 1,800 gold respectively, and that could be quite big in terms of bringing AJN back into this game.
Yeah, especially if it goes on to one of these carries, right? We've been talking about how Yone is so strong as a scaling champion, right? He just gets more and more powerful because he only has to buy 2 crit items normally. Going for Azeel actually here coming up as well. I'm not loving that build. I really like to see the Bloodthirster second out of Yone's typically, but instead not the case here. But overall, if you get a huge shutdown onto one of your damage dealers on the side of AJN, it can completely swing the game in your favor. If you get this Swain back into the match, if he gets a big kill, or even really if the Senna gets a kill like that and can then pump out some much stronger, very long range auto attacks, you are back in this game, right? You have enough damage to crack this front line of the Hecarim and Galio, and that means that you can then take over the match, because without the 5 versus 5 Wombo combo, that Caitlyn becomes much, much more vulnerable.
Yes, she does. And I think you're absolutely right about not counting out that Senna. She could be doing plenty of damage. She's already got 2 kills on the board, and she is about even in items with the Swain. So I think either way it goes, it'll be quite big for their team. And yeah, we do see them all setting up for the Baron. We can see those Caitlyn traps really walling off the jungle of AJN, clearing vision. Will we see a fight breakout, or will we see AJN maybe just give this up? We do see a couple players pushing the mid lane, maybe trying to get that tower, but it's looking like a collapse onto the Cho'Gath as Lawpro dashes in. Hecarim tries to flash out, but it's not going to be enough. He jumps him back in towards the team, and Castle landing the hook. Very nice. Blobpain's just going to shred him down. Not quite going to be enough as the Hecarim ult does go down into the Galio ult, and those two are big and thick. Another huge cannon ult from no one, stunning down 2 big members of their team, and the Hecarim still chasing, still going after, managing to pick up that Darius. Will he pick up the Cho'Gath as well? No, he's going to have to get out, but no one manages to pick up the Yone, and a huge team fight for the side of JYC. That counter engage was beautiful as they started to get turned on, slurped, and no one managed to slide right in there and get their big ultimates down, CC the most important members of AJN, and win that fight.
Yeah, very well played from them. Just a little bit spread out, not quite the Wombo combo that you would expect out of their comp, but it still works out for them. Cho'Gath caught again.
Absolutely, he's such a big hitbox for those hooks, and Blobpaints picks up the Cho'Gath again. It's pretty hard to miss the hooks on a Cho'Gath that size, especially when you are as crisp with them as Castle has been. But Lawpro is going to go down to the Senna and the Swain under tower there. They do manage to crack both towers, but it looks like they're going to have to run away as the side of AJN is starting to come back up. 10 kill lead now for the side of JYC.
Super frustrating if you're JYC, right? You get both Nexus towers, the game is right there in your sights, but no, the side of AJN fights back. They're back into the match. They have to regroup here and look for another push. I think it will be tough to hold on with this game when you have an open Nexus. It's such a vulnerability. The backdoor can just come out of nowhere, or even just if you lose a team fight, the death timers don't have to be very long to end the match at that point. So JYC in a pretty commanding position here. I think they'll just rebuy and probably just charge straight down the middle of the map. Although maybe they'll stop for a little constellation dragon solar baron along the way.
I think that's what we're seeing right now is we can see all 5 members just running down the mid lane. They do have a ward in that base, and they do have teleport up on the Galio, so if a fight does break out and all 5 members of AJN show themselves, we may see a very exciting kind of Trick 2G-esque backdoor, which I would personally love to see. I'm not betting on it right now, but I would love to see it.
Yeah, Galio not known for his very fast backdoor speed, although then again, Kassadin isn't known for it either, but Xpeke did that to great avail back in the day. We're seeing the Dragon Soul get immediately picked up by JYC, but AJN is responding with a Desperation Baron. I like this call. You need to do something or you're just going to lose the game right away. It's going down. I think they've got the Baron, but do they have the fight?
No, Hecarim ulting over the wall, Galio going in with the taunt. Oh, another big stun from the Kennen, picking up a couple of the biggest members. And unfortunately, Blob Paint's getting picked up. The big shutdown going to the Swain. Castle and Slurp are very, very low. Are they going to be able to get out of here? Slurp just managing. No, he does not. The flash from Swain blocks that Galio E, and he will pick it up as well. Triple kill for the Swain. And Lolpro potentially going down to the Darius as well. Wow, what a turn from the side of AJN. They managed to pick up the Baron, and they managed to wipe the side of JYC. And a lot of kills going down onto that Swain. As we were talking about those big shutdowns, he's back in the game.
Oh no, it's happening. It's a horror. Yes, they get the Dragon Soul, they have the permanent stats, but you get full ace and Baron taken from under your nose as a result. Oh, that is an absolute disaster. Look at this. The Swain went from being 0 and 4 to having a 400 gold bounty. He has 3 items. He is so back in this game. He is not just doing all right. He is thriving. So now, really, things are kind of on their head. This inhibitor should be respawning quite soon, but the Nexus is still open on the side of AJN, so they cannot posture too aggressively until the inhibitor respawns. As looks like we have to do a quick time check here. I am at 31:46, 7, 31:48, 49, and 50. Let us know if we're ahead or behind, and we will get that sorted out. It looks like we are 2 seconds ahead, so I'm going to call out for the pause here in just a moment. I'll count us down 3, 2, 1, and then the pause, and we'll get it back underway. So 3, 2, 1, pause, 1 and 2, and then resume play. And hopefully we will be back lined up here perfectly with the match at hand for you guys at home.
I think we should be just about right, and we can see the Hecarim looking for something towards the mid lane, but looks like AJN is just going to fall back. I don't think they can do too much with this Baron, unfortunately, as they do have super minions crashing in the mid lane. If I was them, I would want to be pushing that top and bot lane, maybe trying to get that pressure where they don't have super minions to contend with, but it's not going to look like it's happening too much.
Yeah, and we're just hitting 32:40 on the clock, and things have completely turned on its head, right? I mean, we're seeing that, this Yone, the Swain, they're back in the game, and with the inhibitor, with only 1 inhibitor being down, it's not the same as this. You have 2 or 3, and the team is completely overwhelmed with super minions and is just fighting from their base. Instead, AJN is able to be proactive on the map. They're able to make things happen around the map, and that's very important for them, because if JYC could just waltz into their base scot-free the Nexus, I think it would be game over right then and there. It looks like we may have actually paused for too long as well. I'll just call it out that we are at 33:22, 23, 24. So let us know if we are ahead or behind. As things kind of crawl to a standstill here. I wonder if things will pick up again when the Elder Dragon respawns.
I think I am a few seconds ahead of you. I'm at 38, 39, 40. So I believe I'm maybe 2 or 3 seconds ahead of you. I'm not sure how that happened, but we'll wait on production to give us a quote on the time here and see what we should be at.
Things are mysterious when everything is online and you're not in the studio able to cast or spectate as a crew, but it has been the never-ending cycle. Big Dougie D enacting restrictions recently for our Ontarians around here.
You see the Darius go in on the Kennen dropping the ultimate, and 4 members of JYC are there to collapse on him. I think this is going to be a dead Darius, and there he goes, down for the Hecarim. Lolpro legit player picking up another kill. Very, very smart. That was an excellent bait. from the side of no one, managing to make the Darius think he was all alone when in reality he had 4 teammates sitting in that bush. And Kitten and Slurp still making those very slow, very drawn-out trades as the Galio has so much armor there. Not going to be able to do too much as Yone in a situation like that. And they're looking just to siege down the inhibitor now. They did get that top tower after that fight. Big ultimate from Hecarim. The Galio ultimate coming down as well. They're diving onto that Senna. They're just going to be able to take her down, but Dazda is running down the rest of JYC. Hecarim Cho'Gath flashing into a Caitlyn trap there. Kitten is going to go down to the Hecarim, and the only one left is the Cho'Gath on very little health. Manages to chomp the Thresh, but going to go down to Blob Paints, and Darius is left all alone to defend against 5 members. And we are frozen, which means I believe the game is over. No surprise there. JYC taking the first one after an incredible fight.
Yeah, that was a spike kill out of the Cho'Gath, no doubt. Pops the Gargoyle Stone plate and one-shots the Thresh there at the end. But really nothing he could do in that situation. Darius just overextends